be calm. Get rid of the things that don't let you be calm. You got people in your life that are just people of constant conflict, people of melodrama. Just walk away. Friends, old friends, family, I just walked away. Find things that will make you calm. You wake up of a morning, you got a job you hate, you don't like, you don't want to go to, you slam some sugar breakfast down, you grab you a Mountain Dew or a Coke or a Dr. Pepper on the way to work, and then you crank up some hard driving music, and you come screeching or roaring into your job, and you get out and go in, and it's machines and everything else going, and people are not happy, and people don't want to be there and whatnot. Goodness gracious, it's no wonder you're about to blow a gasket. Make some major changes in your life. Find beauty and calm, and kind of tone down on the drums and the screaming guitars a little bit. Cut down on the sugar and the caffeine, and there's people in your life that just draw away. You need to be calm. And then when the inevitable conflict comes up, and it will, because this is life, go into a calm. Go into your conflict calm. Because if you're calm, you're thinking, you're logical, you're level-headed. When you get mad, all logic and reason goes out the window. Okay? So be calm.
Life is so difficult and challenging that unless you give it everything you have, the chances are very high that it will embitter you, and then you'll be a force for darkness and not good. And so, you know, the fact that life is short and can be brutal can terrify you into hiding and avoiding, but it can also, you can flip that on its head and understand that since you're all in anyways, you might as well take the risks that are adventurous. Picture yourself 5 years out, and you've let your bad habits take full control, but you're 5 years older. Right. So what does that look like? Yeah. Well, it should be scary. Like, what's the little hell your whims are aiming at? Mm-hmm. So what are you? You're the 35-year-old creep at the bachelor party who's still involved with pornography, who still has the mind of a 16-year-old and is getting kind of perverse around the edges because everything he watches is getting a little more brutal. Right? You're that kind of scum rat creep? That's your destiny? You want that? Think about it. Think about exactly what sort of hell you'd involve yourself in. You bloody well know where your bad habits are likely to. Some people end up on the street. Some people that women end up as hookers. There's addiction. There's pimping. There's like brutal cynicism. There's lots of hells. You have yours. You can be sure of that, where your temptation would lead you. Mm-hmm. You want to think that through and decide if that's where you want to go. And then when you're tempted, you can think, oh, that's a pathway to hell. Maybe no.
To know who you are, you must first understand who you are not. Just because things did not happen the way you wanted them to, doesn't mean you have to get angry. You simply need to learn to accept the things you cannot control. You must choose between accepting the pain of staying the same or embracing the pain of growth. Acknowledging that sometimes life is beyond your control. If you choose the pain of growth, be patient, for you are becoming someone you haven't been before. Everyone faces challenges. We all have moments when coping feels nearly impossible. And there are days when everything seems to fall apart. In those moments, we might not be the easiest people to be around, and that's perfectly fine. After all, no one is easy to be around all the time. It's normal to have times when you might be difficult or less pleasant to others. It's true that there may be times when you say or do things that leave those around you feeling helpless or sad. However, these moments do not define you entirely, nor do they diminish your value as a person. What matters most is how you choose to grow and learn from them. And if today was difficult for you, I hope you know that tomorrow can be better. I hope you know that the moments that are uncomfortable, that hurt, or that don't make sense will pass. I hope you remind yourself of all the times you didn't think you were going to feel better, but you did. As you go through your days, remember that every moment is just a moment. When you can't take it one day at a time, try to just take it one breath at a time. Take really good care of yourself and know that it's okay if you don't accomplish everything you told yourself you needed to today. You don't have to start a new routine or healthy habit if it feels like too much. You don't have to be as productive as the people you see online. Your life is your life and you only have this life. Tomorrow it will feel a little bit better. You are safe. You are being guided. You will have everything that you need. Remember that at the end of the day, only you can heal you. Feel it, accept it, forgive it, and do what you can to let it go. You deserve the peace that you need. You deserve to live a life that you love. I read a quote that said, "Time is going to pass anyway, whether you spend it how you want or let it slip by. The question is, will you look back and wonder where it went?" People will always have something to say about your choices, but you get to decide how much space their words take up in your mind. It's about recognizing whose opinions are given out of care for you, and which ones are just noise trying to throw you off your course. Letting someone ruin your day is like handing them the control they never earned. Your energy belongs to you. So decide who's worth spending it on. You're not missing out on anything that wasn't meant for you. If you have to force yourself to show up, then it wasn't your moment to begin with. Good things don't come with strings attached. You don't have to feel guilty for letting go and letting your life get better. The fastest way to know if something will work for you is to try it. Learn to proceed without certainty. Life doesn't come with a trial period or a money-back guarantee. There's no GPS for your journey, no step-by-step guide to becoming who you're meant to be. Every day you're writing a story without knowing the ending. You can spend years theorizing, planning, and preparing, but until you take that first step, it's all just speculation. As Kierkegaard said, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. You can't wait for certainty to start living, because by the time you're certain, the moment has passed. Certainty is an illusion. Even the surest things in life can change in an instant. Proceed without certainty. Let go of the need to know everything.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
How true it was when Goethe wrote, "As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live." Magic is believing in yourself. If you can do that, you can make anything happen. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain as he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. A person hears only what they understand. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. The things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. The human race is a monotonous affair. Most people spend the greatest part of their time working in order to live, and what little freedom remains so fills them with fear that they seek any and every means to be rid of it.
And then one day, just like that, we shut our eyes for the last time. And that would be it. Game over. And there's a pretty good chance that there's nothing after that. No do-overs, no second chances. Just nothing. You cease to be. Now imagine you knew that was coming and you had a couple minutes before you closed your eyes. Do you think you'd look back happy, knowing that you spent years doing a job you hate, or that you stayed in an environment that wasn't right for you? or that you didn't travel to that country you always wanted to visit because saving a few $100s was the sensible thing to do? Do you think you'd be proud that you held a grudge for so long and now you can't make it right? Or proud that you were always too busy to answer the phone to your parents? Or that you never told the person how you truly feel? And do you think you'd look back happy knowing that you never truly chased your dreams because you were too scared? We have one shot in this life, and yet we're still scared to truly live. But the odds of you being born are 1 in 400 trillion. But the odds of death? Certain. Yet we treat life like the certainty. Tomorrow always comes, right?
For your own sanity, just let life happen as it will. Maybe getting older is just learning that things don't always go how you want them to. The hardest truth about this is that we have no control over how others treat us. Every single person we meet will have some type of impact on our lives.
Start every morning, write 10 things that you're grateful for. Send love to 3 people who bother you. Be quiet for 5 minutes and ask for guidance for the day. It's a winning formula.
Act like the person you want to become. That's not fake it till you make it, by the way. This is intentional. When you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you. But when it comes to manifesting based on science, I want you to think as manifesting as a bridge that's made of bricks between you and the thing that you dream about. And what you do when you manifest is you don't manifest where the bridge is going. You manifest the bricks. Visualization is the bricks. And so what I want you to do when you visualize is you're capable of breaking any pattern. You're capable of getting control of your health. You're capable of launching a business. You're capable of making millions of dollars. You're capable of doing absolutely anything that you put your mind to. Because I do believe that people who put in the work get rewarded.
My goodness, don't you remember when you went first to school? You went to kindergarten. And in kindergarten, the idea was to push along so that you could get into first grade, and then push along so that you could get into second grade, so on, going up and up. And then you went to high school, and this was a great transition in life. And now the pressure is being put on. You must get ahead. You must go up the grades and finally be good enough to get to college. And then when you get to college, you're still going step by step up to the great moment in which you're ready to go out into the world. And then when you get out into this famous world comes the struggle for success in profession or business. And again, there seems to be a ladder before you, something for which you're reaching all the time. And then, suddenly, when you're about 40 or 45 years old in the middle of life, you wake up one day and say, I've arrived. I feel pretty much the same as I've always felt. In fact, I'm not so sure that I don't feel a little bit cheated. You can't live at all unless you can live fully now.
From the back of Be Here Now by Ram Dass, I read this morning this on the value of silence, which I'd be curious to have both of you relate to. Stop talking, stop thinking, and there is nothing you will not understand. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, because who is thinking and who is talking? It's the mind. It's not the real you. The real you seems to be witnessing everything without taking part in anything.
Ram, from your experience, how can an individual recognize that part of them that is in fact detached?
I would say that if you just sat down quietly and started to follow your breath, and every time you have a thought, even the thought, I'm following my breath, or I wonder what's going to happen, you let the thought go by, just as if you were watching leaves go down a stream. Just letting the thoughts go by and keep returning back to the breath. And for just 20 minutes, you follow your breath. That's all. You will know more than all the discussion we can have about how your own mind keeps creating stuff and the quiet space right behind your own mind.
Our minds have to be silent some of the time if we are really to have anything to think about except thoughts. You know, there is a popular proverb which says that talking to yourself is the first sign of madness. And there's some truth in this, because constant thinking as distinct from simply experiencing through our senses. Constant thinking about our experiences, coding our experiences into words, into signs, into the symbols of thought, is a buzz that goes on day in and day out inside our heads, except when we're asleep. And as a result of that, we begin to live in a world increasingly divorced from reality. And that is why in those Oriental cultures in India and China and Japan, it has always been considered important for everybody to spend some of his time, by no means all of his time, but some of it, not thinking.